from the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly tours the Arizona-Mexico border. We have the latest as the Nogales community reacts. A community up in arms as a Mesa mother is deported. We take a look at one of the first immigration enforcements in Arizona following President Trump's executive order. And Senator John McCain bombarded by reporters as President Trump criticizes him on Twitter.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Adriana de Alva. And I'm Janelle Kernkamp. Thank you for joining us. Secretary of Homeland Security John Kelly is meeting with Governor Doug Ducey in Nogales today, taking steps in improving border security following President Trump's border wall executive order. Governor Ducey's office shared photos via social media as Kelly toured security operations and met with state officials and border sheriffs, including an up-close look at Port of Nogales. Kelly heads to Southern California tomorrow to continue his assessment of current border security. The border wall has been hugely controversial since Trump initially promised it during his campaign. Katie Beery is in Nogales, where she talked to residents about the plan to build a bigger border wall. Katie?
The people we talked to in Nogales didn't even know that Secretary Kelly was in town touring the border wall, but nearly everybody here had an opinion about it. This is a border community where people have strong business, family, and cultural ties on both sides. And the people we talked to said the existing fence dividing Nogales, Arizona from Mexico is enough. They said there's no need for a big wall and that security measures that already exist keep people safe.
Protection in the border is better than before. They treat the immigrants like persons.
I agree with many people that say it might be useless. Personally, you know, when I cross over and come back, I feel like there's already so much security. They're already, you know, Border Patrol is doing so much already, the work that they're doing. You know, that I don't know what a wall is going to do.
There's currently 600 miles of fencing along the U.S.-Mexico border, including Nogales and other parts of Arizona. It's not immediately clear when construction of the border will begin, how much it will cost, who will pay for it, or how it'll affect residents in this area. Live in Nogales, Katie Beery, Cronkite News.
Protests continue in Phoenix as a Mesa mother is one of the first from Arizona to be deported following Trump's executive orders. Cronkite News reporter Joanna Restrepo has been following Guadalupe Garcia's story. Joanna?
Family, friends, and activists held a news conference today on behalf of Guadalupe Garcia, who was deported this morning.
I'm here and I'm gonna keep on fighting. I'm gonna keep on fighting for my mom and for the other families that are going through the same thing because this is unfair.
It follows a long night of protests outside of the Phoenix ICE office where Guadalupe Garcia, Mexican 36-year-old mother of 2 U.S. citizens, went in for her yearly check-in with immigration. This time, she did not leave ICE with her family. She was held according to immigrations and customs officials due to a court-issued removal order dating back to 2013. The family learned early this morning that she was deported to Nogales, Sonora, something that not even her attorney was aware of.
What have we come to as a society when we allow our government to rip a mother away from her 2 children, when we allow our government to rip away a wife from her husband?
According to her attorney, Garcia came to this country when she was 14 and missed several deadlines to legalize herself. Immigration officials said Garcia had felony charges for working with false documents. She was detained at her home in 2008 as part of a worksite immigration raid by former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Check-ins with immigration like these happen every day, but Garcia's deportation may cause a chilling effect for others to show up to their mandatory check-ins, according to community advocates.
Organizations like Puente Movement encourage people to not hide and not be scared. They want people to join them in movements like these so that they can bring light to similar situations.
This is happening all across the country, in every city, in every state, every single day, all day. And so what we want is for people to stand up to Trump, to defy him.
Meanwhile, Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton released a statement today saying that the city would not support Trump's mass deportation plans. And he called what happened to Guadalupe Garcia a travesty. In the broadcast center, Joanna Restrepo, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News is committed to covering ongoing immigration and border issues, and our teams are bringing you that coverage bilingually. You can find our news in Spanish at cronkitenoticias.azpbs.org and on Univision stations in the Valley. As always, our English news content can be found at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Jeff Sessions has been officially sworn in as Attorney General and says Trump's immigration policies are what the country needs.
That's not wrong, that's not immoral, that's not indecent. We admit 1 million people a year plus who lawfully, and we need to end this lawlessness that threatens the public safety, pulls down wages of working Americans.
Sessions was confirmed last night after another bitter fight to get Trump's cabinet picks confirmed. Sessions' history with race issues made him a controversial pick for the nation's top law enforcement official.
Arizona Senator John McCain is coming under fire for his criticism of last week's raid in Yemen, and President Trump is not impressed. In a series of tweets this morning, President Trump said that talking to the media about the mission, quote, emboldens the enemy. Trump also said McCain has, quote, been losing so long he doesn't know how to win anymore. Just look at the mess our country is in, bogged down in conflict all over the place. When we caught up with Senator McCain in D.C., he said the backlash isn't affecting his relationships with military officials.
I have good conversations often with General Mattis, General Flynn, General Kelly. I have good conversations with them all the time.
Should the Trump administration reach out?
Struggling veterans are able to get the help they need in one location for the next 48 hours. Reporter Trevor Fay went to the Veterans Memorial Coliseum and shows us the services offered at Arizona Stand Down.
For veterans who are struggling to adjust to civilian life or make ends meet, getting the services they are entitled to could mean traveling all over the valley. But once a year, they can get everything from haircuts to Social Security numbers, all in one place through Stand Down.
VA has issues that they need to address. Everybody knows that. But there's so much good about the VA too. And there's so many veterans like myself that will tell you that the VA has done so much for them.
R.C. Thompson has lost a lot over the years, but he hasn't forgotten why he first started down the path of military service.
My father's name was R.C. Thompson. He was a combat Army Marine. And he died with his benefits being deleted wrongly by VA. So I go by his name to honor him.
And Thompson isn't alone. Thousands of veterans turned out today to get help from people like United Way volunteer Francisco Avalos.
The court system is by far the most popular area for our veterans who are coming here to receive services. And so the idea is creating a space in which veterans feel comfortable coming and having their cases heard. There's actually attorneys on site who are taking the case and trying to understand the case. And then we actually bring judges on site on Friday and Saturday for veterans to actually come and have their cases heard here.
Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum is the perfect venue for the thousands of veterans who come to register with different Arizona agencies to get Social Security benefits, driver's licenses, or to simply get cleaned up. In Phoenix, Trevor Fay, Cronkite News.
While Trump's travel ban is temporarily lifted, international students fear for their future.
Coming up on Cronkite News, hundreds of students gather to rally support for their classmates.
Plus, how teachers from around the world help students here in Arizona.
Finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Now all my dreams are coming true. Yeah, I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. right about now.
2 school voucher bills are going through the House and Senate right now. Today, the Senate Education Committee passed their bill that would allow the money that is used per student to follow them to a charter or private school. Both bills would expand the Empowerment Scholarship Accounts program. Those in favor of the bills wore yellow scarves and bright green stickers that said "Yes, ESA," and some testified before the committees. Senator Debbie Lesko says she supports families being able to choose which school is best for their student, but others are concerned that the ESAs would help wealthier families take money out of lower income schools with less accountability.
For me, it's all about improving education, no matter where that education takes place.
Does that mean that public funds are taken from the educational system in this state and going to private schools? If so, that is a huge problem because there is no check and balance for private schools.
A peaceful gathering in Tempe today saw people from different races and religions come together to protest President Donald Trump's executive order banning travel from 7 primarily Muslim countries. Carla Liriano spoke with students who've had to cancel travel plans due to visa concerns.
No more ASU is for all. More than 120 students and teachers gathered at Arizona State University today to protest President Donald Trump's travel ban. The ban was temporarily suspended by a federal judge, but ASU's international students, many of them in graduate programs, fear going home to visit their families.
I was planning to arrange a trip to bring over my family to visit me. I had visa entry, single entry visa, so I couldn't go visit them, and they haven't been able to come visit me.
Almost a dozen ASU professors spoke in support of their students from the 7 countries identified by the ban.
We are committed to the study of religion, and we have many faculty and students whose expertise is in Islam. And we wanted to make sure that our ability to communicate, our ability to teach, and our ability to travel for our research remains in place.
40 other similar rallies were organized at universities across the country today. In Tempe, Carla Liriano, Cronkite News.
A ruling from the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals is expected sometime today.
Arizona needs qualified teachers. There are thousands of open positions in our state, and some of those vacancies are being filled by teachers from other countries. Ivory Reiner talked with a teacher from the Philippines about the rewards and challenges of the job.
I feel like a princess or a queen. It was so huge, it was complete, it has a sink, it has desks.
That is how Honey-Kate Araza felt when she walked into her new classroom. She is from the Philippines, here on a work visa, teaching 2nd grade at Amberlia Elementary School in Phoenix.
We needed this opportunity financially, so I can financially help my husband support and raise our kids.
Araza made $375 a month teaching in the Philippines. Here she brings home $3,000 a month and has health insurance, and sends the money back home to her 3 children and husband on the other side of the globe.
Focus, focus.
Matt Williams, who manages the teacher exchange program, said the Philippines has viable candidates that can support his students.
The pay over here is much better, and that's where it's a win-win. We fill our teacher shortage, and they have a pay that is substantially higher than in the Philippines.
Lily DeBlue, superintendent at Pendergrass Elementary School District, said education should be treated like an investment.
A teacher is expected to come into the classroom, get a degree, many with master's degree, start at maybe in the $30,000 when they have loans. How can you expect people to be attracted to this amazing field if they can't even support themselves and be treated with the respect that they deserve?
2 months ago, there were 2,166 teacher vacancies in the state of Arizona alone. Pendergrass Elementary School District has hired 58 of those teachers through the Work Visa Teacher Program. Araza plans to return to the Philippines to see her husband and children for Christmas this year. In Phoenix, Ivory Reiner, Cronkite News.
As of right now, there are still over 2,000 teacher vacancies in the state of Arizona.
Arizona is officially at high risk for the flu this season.
And Maricopa County is trying out a new method to track the virus. Coming up on Cronkite News, how this app is bringing the latest flu data right to your screen.
And temperatures are way above average today, but how long will this warm weather stick around? I have your answer coming up.
that you're a dreamer. Don't hide it from anyone. Don't hide it from anyone. Hey, would you believe me if I said we are here for a reason now? This is our life. This is what counts. This is for us. I will go anywhere for you.
The first pediatric flu-related death this year was reported in Arizona yesterday. The child was under the age of 2 and had other health issues. Flu cases are on the rise in Arizona, and a new app to track the flu is being tested in Maricopa County. Reporter Kanak Jha tells us about the data the app could provide.
Community is an app that provides real-time data about flu cases in your city. It can show you what age groups are affected, who's at risk, and where to find medical attention. The key now is to see if communities are interested in using this tool. This is a routine flu shot, but the illness is anything but routine for the thousands of people who die from influenza every year in the U.S. Now there's an app to track the flu. Community is designed by Quidel, a California-based health diagnostics company, and it's being tested in Maricopa County. Even skeptics say information is important when it comes to healthcare.
I think it's a very important thing for people to stay notified of the potential risks. It's not something that I think I would use personally, but it is something that I think would be beneficial for a lot of people.
Dr. John Tamarius, who is a senior vice president of Quidel, says Community can help keep local communities educated about who is at risk for the flu.
Today, just looking at Community, the app, I've learned that Arizona, for the first time this year, has very high levels of influenza.
Tamarius says so far 5,000 people have used the beta version of the app. Macrina Leach from the Maricopa County Health Department says flu cases are expected to rise over the next 2 weeks, and the information could be helpful.
Well, I think we're a huge county. We're a little over 4 million people. I think we're a very mobile community. I think we have really excellent data here, so that would be helpful.
Economides might not use the app, but he says staying current on health issues is important for his infant son.
It's not something that I think I would use personally, but it is something that I think would be beneficial for a lot of people.
Flu information is available around the country on Community, but Maricopa County is the base site for testing and tweaking the app. In the broadcast center, Kanak Jha, Cronkite News.
As we move out of flu season and into sunnier weather, it's time to start applying sunscreen. Some school districts don't allow students to apply sunscreen without a doctor's note because the FDA considers it an over-the-counter drug. House Bill 2134 is trying to change that, giving students the ability to carry and apply sunscreen at school without a note or prescription.
Instead of using the Arizona sun to get a tan, some people turn to machines. As concerns about skin cancer are on the rise, Alexa Stukrath has the latest on a bill moving through the legislature that could put a stop to teens in tanning beds.
I got a call at 8 a.m. on June 12th because it was my daughter's 3rd birthday.
Shelby Voss is one of the 3.6 million people that are diagnosed with skin cancer each year.
We actually see melanoma being the #1 killer in individuals who are age, I say 28 to 35 or 28 to 39. It's actually the #2 killer in individuals who are 15 to 28.
Voss admits she started tanning around that age.
I'm from Indiana, and the sun doesn't shine very much there. So when I was younger, about 14, 15, I started tanning.
And it was a habit she kept up about once a week.
People who tan is they actually share a lot of overlapping habits with individuals who are addicts to other things such as cigarettes or alcohol.
When Voss found out she had melanoma, she had surgery immediately.
I had about a 9-inch incision on my back.
However, the surgery didn't help to ease her worry.
I had the worst anxiety for 3 years. I couldn't get past, it was a day-to-day.
Now one lawmaker is working to protect minors with House Bill 2194.
I am overwhelmed by the support that I've received from students across my district interested in this bill.
And Brian Hummel believes this bill will not only save lots of money, but lives as well.
The state of Arizona's cancer registry did an estimate that approximately 150 lives would be saved and over $7.5 million in healthcare expenses as a result of moving this legislation.
A parent signature has always been required in order for minors to tan. However, this new bill plans to slam that shut.
Tanning beds are carcinogenic. They're no different than cigarettes. They're no different than plutonium.
Voss has been cancer-free for 5 years.
It's always on my mind. There's never a day that this melanoma is not on my mind.
This is the 4th time a law to ban tanning beds for minors has been proposed, and this is the farthest it has ever gone. In Phoenix, Alexis Stukrath, Cronkite News.
And you might want to grab some of that sunscreen that we talked about earlier, because you are not going to believe the temperatures that we are seeing across the state right now. We are at those low 80s, high 70s across the board. We are at 84 in Yuma, 81 in Havasu, and even in those high 50s, low 60s up in northern Arizona. But if you take a look at temperatures across the valley, we are at 80 in Phoenix, 81 in Scottsdale, 79 in Mesa, and even 80 in Maricopa. And that is a lot warmer than normal. If you take a look at our average temperatures, we are at 70 normally, and then 14 degrees warmer than average right now, and we are almost breaking that record. And I have a feeling we have the chance to break it tomorrow, because we are expecting a temperature of 85 degrees and cloudy, and it will start to cool down on Saturday. We'll be at 74, but the clouds are going to start to leave by then. And then 71 on Sunday, and look at this, perfect temperature for Valentine's Day, and then 75 and sunny on Wednesday and Thursday. That's a look at your 7-day forecast.
3D printing is revolutionizing the way almost everything is made. Coming up on Cronkite News, how an ASU lab is giving students the opportunity to solve global problems just by clicking print.
All right. All right. There's something wrong with this plot.
Fascinating.
Baby, I'm howling for you.
You know, sometimes I wish I wasn't so beloved.
My ember, can't you see? Little girl got a hold on me like wow. You. Baby, I'm howling for you.
It's literally one for the history books.
Enjoy.
We're tracking breaking news right now. A decision has been made by the Ninth Circuit Court on Trump's travel ban. The court will not reinstate the ban, which barred travelers from 7 primarily Muslim countries. This ban was previously suspended by a lower court in Seattle. An appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court is possible. We'll have continuing coverage on our website at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Some college students in the East Valley are 3D printing bigger than ever before. Reporter Amanda Luberto shows us just what they can do.
When you walk into the Innovation Hub on the Polytechnic campus of Arizona State, arrows greet you. Choose any one and it takes you to an engineer's playground where they have woodcutters, lasers, and 3D printers small and large. Sean Dangler is the lab manager and says he thinks of the lab as innovative prototype building.
They're using 3D printing with laser cutting, with vacuum forming, with the wood router to make an overall project. And they might even throw wiring in there, Arduinos.
Riley Chicky, student technician, comes to the lab either for class projects or personal time. He's printed lots of different things, but some more impressive than others.
What I have here
is a set of totally 3D printed tank tracks for a robot that goes into third world countries and finds landmines. What it is it's a bunch of individually printed links that are then pinned together with the same filament used to print them.
Once students are trained, they have full access to the lab and its equipment. It's up to them to come up with the ideas. Students in the Innovation Hub can use the 3D printers behind me to make little parts and make moving cars. And they can even use the lasers in here to etch things in plastic or even carve things out of wood. Because resources aren't really an issue, students have complete creative control to decide what the lab can do. The future of the Innovation Hub is bright. They just received a $2 million printer that not only prints in metals, but a molecular microscope to look at how they can print metal more efficiently. In Mesa, Amanda Luberto, Cronkite News.
Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, we'll learn about a Veterans Stand Down event to help homeless vets. And we'll hear from the woman who went from the bullfighting ring to high finance. That's the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour, making sense of the effect of the Trump presidency on the Trump brand. That's Thursday on the PBS NewsHour.
News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org. Well,